Hello everybody, welcome back to concept building classes regular dose of practice questions. Today we are going to take the questions from logical reasoning section, which is one of the most important sections in CAT. So let's look at the question. 8 persons A, B, C, D, W, X, Y and Z are seated around a circular table. Among them, only 3 are facing to the center and rest are facing opposite to the center. Y sits third to the left of D, who is facing same direction as W. A sits third to the right of X and third to the left of B. Z sits immediate right of D. C sits third to the left of W and facing opposite direction as facing B. Y sits fifth to the right of X and D is facing inside. Now let's see how to attempt this question. So if you want, you can pause this video and try to solve the question on your own and then match the solution which I'm going to present now. So let's see how to attempt this question. So now first information which we are going to use is D is facing inside. Why? Because there are 3 people who are facing to the center or they are facing inside. So rest 5 people would be facing outside, right? So let's try and determine who are those 3 people who are facing inside and who are facing outside. So one of the most important informations which is given is D is facing inside. This is straightforward. So now we know at least about one person that he is facing inside, right? Now another information which is given is D who is facing same direction as W, which means W is also facing inside just like D. Okay. Now next information which is given is C facing opposite direction as facing B, which means C and B are facing opposite to each other. So if one is facing inside, the other one is facing outside, right? So C and B face opposite to each other. Now with this information, we can say that who are facing inside, D, W, they are definitely facing inside, and out of one, B and C, one person is also facing inside. So there are only 3 people who are facing inside. So one is W, one is D. So only one position is left, and which would be occupied by either B or C. Now who all would face outside? Rest of the people. So which are A, X, Y, Z, and B or C. So one of them would be facing outside. Now the next information which is useful is A sits third to the right of X and third to the left of B. Now this is a very crucial information, and how we are going to use this information is that this will tell us the direction in which X and B are sitting, right? Now this means that X and B face in the same direction, right? We know about X, we are sure about X that he is facing outside, but we are not sure about B. Now with this information we can be sure in which direction B is facing, because B will face in the same direction as X. Now why we are saying this? Because now just look at this table. So let's say A is sitting here, right? So A is sitting here, then this is the third position from A, and here X is sitting. So X is facing outside, and A is third to the right of X, right? So if X sits here, then A is third to the right of X. Now where can B sit? B can sit again third position from A. So third position from A is this. So here X is already sitting. Another third position from A is this. So here B can sit, right? So now this is also third position from A. Now let us say B is sitting and facing inside. Now let's see whether it is possible or not. So if B is sitting here facing inside, then what is A's position with respect to B? Now A is third to the right of B, right? So if B is facing inside, then A is on the right of B, right? Then this statement would not hold true, that A is third to the left of B. So if A has to be third to the left of B, then A has to face outside, right? So if B sits outside, B is facing outside, then A would be third to the left of B, right? So B has to face outside. So in this way we can say that X and B both are facing outside. Now this is just an illustration, you don't have to draw it there. With this information itself you can figure out that if both X and B are sitting third to the are sitting at third position from A, it means one is sitting in one direction, another sitting is one another direction, right? Both can't sit on the same side of A, right? So if one is sitting on this direction, then the other one has to sit in this direction from B. And if that has to hold true, one is so one is to the left and one is to the right, then both have to face in the same direction. And since X is facing outside, so B is also facing outside. With this, we can actually summarize who all are facing inside and who all are facing outside. So D, W, and C, now they are facing inside, and facing outside would be A, X, Y, Z, and B. Now let's try and seat all these people around the table. So this is a table with 8 people. Let us say first of all we make D sit here, and then we will place other people around D. Why we have make D sit first? Because there are a lot of people whose reference with respect to D is given in the question. So for example, Z sits immediate right of D. So Z will sit here, immediate right of D, and Z is facing outside, right? So Z is facing outside. Then Y sits third to the left of D. So Y would sit here, third to the left of D, and he will also face outside because we have already determined this. Now another information is A sits third to the right of X and A sits third to the left of B. Now where can A sit? So there are only 5 positions left, these 3 and these 2. Now can A sit in any of these positions? Because if we try and make him sit in any of these positions, then on both side of A, third position should be available. So if he sits here, then this is not available. If he sits here, then this third position is not available. If he sits here, then this third position is not available, right? So wherever A will sit, on both sides, third position should be available so that X and B can sit, right? So this is the only position where third in both the directions are available. So if A sits here, then 1, 2, 3, this position is available. In this direction also 1, 2, 3, this position is available. So A will sit here and he will face outside, right? Now let us make X and B sit. So X will sit here so that A sits to the third to the right of X, and B will sit here so that A is to the left of B, right? Now here A is to the left of B, and both of them are facing outside as we have determined here. Now only 2 positions are left and 2 people are to sit. Who are those 2 people? C and W. C sits third to the left of W. Now we have to determine where C will sit and where W will sit. Right now it's very simple that C has to be on the third left side of W. So wherever we make W sit, C third position in the left hand side of W should be available for C. So if we now, first thing is that both of them are facing inside, right? So if W sits here, then on left hand side of W, third position is available. So here C can sit. If we would have asked W to sit here, then third position from here would be this. So this is not available, so C can't sit. That's why W will sit here so that on third position to his left, C can sit. Now we have made all the people sit. Now we can answer the questions. Now who is sitting third to the right of B? Who is sitting third to the right of B? So 1, 2, 3 in right side. Z is sitting. So our answer is AZ. W is facing in which direction? He is facing inside. So he is facing inside the center. Answer is B. What is the position of B with respect to Z when in counted anti-clockwise direction from Z? Right? In this direction, if we count, then this is 1, 2, 3, third position and towards left, right? So B is sitting on third position towards left. Who is sitting between A and B, moving clockwise from A? So between A and B, moving clockwise from A means, so clock moves in this direction. So moving clockwise from A to B, W and Y are sitting. So our answer is C, both Y and W. Who is sitting next to C? So C is sitting here. Who is sitting next to C? B and X, right? So in the options, only X is given. So our answer would be X. Now let's move on to the next logical reasoning question. So the question is, a supermarket has to place 12 items coded A to L in shelves numbered 1 to 16. So there are 16 shelves, but there are only 12 items to be placed. 5 of these items are biscuits, 3 are candies, and rest are savories. Only 1 item can be kept in a shelf. Items are to be placed such that all items of same type are clustered together. So all biscuits have to be kept together, all candies have to be kept together, and all savories have to be kept together with no empty shelf between items of the same type, and at least one empty shelf between two different types of items. So between biscuits and candies, there has to be at least one empty shelf, and at most two empty shelves can have consecutive numbers, which means maximum there can be two empty shells consecutively, not more than two are allowed. Now, following additional information is also given. A and B are to be placed in consecutively numbered shells in increasing order. So B has to be placed after A, right? And they have to be placed consecutively. I and J are to be placed in consecutively numbered shells. Again, I and J have to be put together in consecutively numbered shells. Both higher numbered than the shells in which A and B are kept. So I and J will come only after A and B, but we are not sure about the order of I and J. It can be JI or it can be IJ, because they have not given that they are in this same order, right? In which order? The this order is not defined here, but they have to be kept together in one shelf after another. Another thing is D, E, and F are savories and are to be placed in consecutively numbered shelves in increasing order. So it's very clear that D, E, F have to be kept together in the same order after all the biscuits and candies, which means savories are placed at the end. First, biscuits and candies are kept. Maybe biscuits and candies or candies and biscuits. The order is not defined, but savories are definitely at the end. K is to be placed in shelf number 16, which is the last shelf. So there are 16 shelves, so K would be at the end shelf, which means K is also savory because savories are kept towards the end, as we just saw. Now L and J are the items of the same type, while H is an item of a different type. C is a candy and is to be placed in a shelf preceded by two empty shelves, which means there have to be two empty shelves before C. L is to be placed in a shelf preceded by exactly one empty shelf, which means there has to be one empty shelf before L. Now let's see how to attempt this question. Now it's very clear, it is given that, you know, 5 biscuits are there, 3 candies are there, and 4 savories are there, right? Now important information is that all the items of same type have to be kept together, no empty shelves allowed between them, and at least one empty shelf between two types, and at most two empty shelves between two types, right? Now let's say these are the 16 shells which are there, 1 to 16. So 1 is here and 16 is on the right side. Now let's make all of them positioned in these shells. So first of all, the easiest information given is that K is to be placed in shelf number 16. So we have made K position here. So K would be placed here. Then DEF, as it is saying that DEF are savories and they have to be placed in consecutively numbered shells in increasing order after all the biscuits and candies. So DEF will sit here. So it has to be, they all have to be together. So it is also fixed that DEF will be here. DEF can't be starting from here D, E, and F, because then there would be one gap between among savories themselves, which is not allowed, right? So no empty shell between items of the same type. So DEF are savories and they would be kept along with K. So now savories have been placed. Now once you have placed the savories, you know that there has to be one empty, at least one empty shelf here, because between savories and other type there has to be at least one empty shelf. So this cannot have anything. Now it is given that C is a candy and is to be placed in a shelf preceded by two shelves. So let us say if we make C sit here, so that there are three, so there are three candies. So there are three shelves are available here, and before C there is a there are two empty shelves. So C can sit here, C can be positioned here, and two empty shells are to be positioned here. So these two shells will not be, you know, these two shells nothing can be kept, and C will be kept here, and there are two more shells available where two more candies would be kept. So there have to be three candies. So in this area, three candies can be kept. Now there is another situation wherein, you know, we can keep C here also. So instead of here, candies can be kept here also initially. Now again, initial two shells have to be empty because C is kept in a shelf preceded by two empty shelves. So C can be seated here only, C can be positioned here only, so that two empty shells are available before them, before C. Now again, these three shells will be for the candies, right? So both the situations are possible. Both these are possible with the information available. So now let's put other candies and or other biscuits. Now L has to be placed in such a manner that there is one empty shelf, right? Which means L has to be at the start of the, L is the first biscuit in the shelf, right? After this, other biscuits would be there, because then only it is possible that there is one empty shelf before it. Just like C, that C is at the starting because there are empty shelves before it. Similarly, L is also at the start because there is an empty shelf before it. It is given in this. L is to be placed in a shelf preceded by exactly one empty shelf. So L can be placed here and one empty shelf can be here. Similarly, here also L can be placed here and one empty shelf would be here. So these three are for candies. You can't touch them. So L can be seated here only and L can be placed here only. And there is one empty shelf here, and rest of these shells would be filled by the biscuits. Similarly, rest of these shells, now there are total 5 biscuit shells. So these are 5 biscuit shells. Here are also 5 biscuit shells. So remember, these two informations are very important because these informations helped us determine which would be the first candy. So C would be the first candy in the shelf because it is preceded by two empty shells. So only between two types of items empty shells are allowed. So C has to be at the start, right? Similarly, L has to be at the start because L is also having one empty shelf before it. So L is also at the start of the biscuits. Now, once we have placed L here and L here, then other information which is given is L and J are same type, but H is different, which means L and J, if they are same type, which means J is also a biscuit and H has to be a candy because savories are already filled. So H has to be a candy. So H will be either here or here. So we don't know which position will be taken by H, either here or here, but out of one, these two. And here AB and LJ would be there, right? So H would be here. So now why we have written AB here? Because J is a biscuit, and first, if you read first two statements, A and B are placed consecutively and IJ are also placed consecutively, right? So if J is a biscuit and I and J are also after A and B are kept. So first A and B have to be kept and then I and J have to be kept. But we are not sure whether I will be here or J would be here. But A and B are definitely coming here because A and B are to be placed in consecutively number shells in increasing order, right? And since J has to be placed in one of these because L and J are same, so L has to be placed, J has to be placed in one of these. So I and J, one of them would be here and J would be occupying the other place. Once we have determined this, then H and G are left, which would be placed here, right? So either H will be here or G would be here. In this set also, we can place A, B, I, J or J, I, right? So L and J are same, so they have to be, J has to be here, and but A and B have to be before I and J, and then comes I and J. Here comes H and G. So we don't know whether H will come first or G will come first. So that's how we can fill all the positions in both these sets. Now let's try and solve the questions. So in how many ways, different ways can the items be arranged on the shelves, right? So in how many ways? So there are 4 ways here, right? So these 4 positions can be filled. So I can fix I here, then J would come here, and then G or H and G. So this becomes 2. Similarly, I can fix J here and then I here, and then H here and G here and G here and H here. So again 2. So total 4 ways in which it can be placed here, and 4 ways are here also. So 4 plus 4, 8 ways are the ways in which items can be arranged on the shelves. Now, which of the following items is not a type of biscuit? This is very easy, right? So G is the only one which is not a biscuit. Now, which of the following can represent the numbers of empty shells in a possible arrangement? So here, which are the empty shells? 1. Now this is 7 and 8. So 1, 7, 8 and 12. 1, 7, 8 and 12 is not a given option. Or 1, 2, 6 and 12. So 1, 2, 6 and 12 is an option. So 1, 2, 6 and 12 are the empty shells. So this is a possible arrangement. Which of the following statements is necessarily true? So there are two empty shells between biscuits and candies. So two empty shells between biscuits and candies. So here it is right. But in this case, there is only one empty shelf. So it is not necessarily true. First statement. Second statement, all candies are kept before biscuits. No, here candies are kept after biscuit. All biscuits are kept before candies. No, here all biscuits are kept after candies. So since there are two different situations, so we can't say that this is necessarily true. What about fourth statement? There are at least 4 shells between items B and C. So here between B and C, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 shells are there, fine. Here between B and C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 shells are there. So at least 4 shells are there. So this is right, right? So our answer would be D. There are at least 4 shells between items B and C. So this is it for this practice session. So if you like this video, then please subscribe to this channel, share it with your friends, like it, comment on it, and also press the bell button so that you can be notified as and when more questions are posted on this channel. Thank you and happy learning.